Welcome to San Bruno, California, global headquarters to one of the most influential media companies in the world. YouTube launched in 2005 with a simple video of a guy at the zoo. He's one of the original co-founders.
And that's pretty much all there is to say.
It quickly became a central hub for users to upload and share videos online.
Daddy bit me.
Now, YouTube is an entertainment colossus that's even bigger than Netflix. YouTube, which is owned by Google, has grown into a one-stop shop for your favorite creators, news highlights, TV shows, movies, and even sports games. For the past 15 years, Neal Mohan has had a ringside seat to the transformation.
Hello.
Hey, Emily. Welcome to YouTube.
Mohan was one of the pioneers of internet advertising, a top executive at DoubleClick, the display ad juggernaut that Google bought in the early days of search. He went on to lead a chunk of Google's massive ad business. He's so valuable that Google reportedly paid him $100 million in stock not to leave. In 2015, he crossed the hallway to become YouTube's chief product officer, making him the point person for everything from developing new products and features to keeping users safe. He took the reins for the top job from Susan Wojcicki in 2023.
I've been working with YouTube even before either I or YouTube were part of Google, when it was above Pizza Parlor right down the street here in San Mateo. And so I have really seen that journey really kind of from me at the zoo to what it's become today.
Now, as CEO, he's tasked with taking the video platform to new heights and tackling its biggest problems: hate, misinformation, its impact on kids, all while dealing with the unprecedented challenges of AI and keeping the world's largest creator economy afloat.
You're now a year into the top job. More than a third of the planet is already watching YouTube. How do you plan to make it even bigger?
Really, the way I think about it is, YouTube's really kind of its own sort of unique thing. We're not a social media platform. We're not traditional media in the sense we're not linear television. We're really sort of our own thing. And so if we live up to that vision, we think we're really still in the early days of our growth story and fulfilling what our mission is, which is to give everyone a voice and show them the world.
Based on Nielsen's latest data, YouTube is now by far the biggest streamer in the world. Netflix close behind, and then everybody else drops way down. Hulu, Disney, Max. But you don't get the awards or the critical acclaim. What more does YouTube have to prove?
I do think that YouTube is getting recognized as that platform on television screens. We just surpassed 1 billion hours of watch time on living room screens. And you mentioned the Nielsen ratings. That is certainly something that when I speak to our advertising partners, the brands that look to build connections with consumers on our platform, they recognize that. And they see it as a place not just of this broad reach, the #1 streaming platform here in the US, but also reach that is engaged. And from a brand's perspective, that is something that they are really recognizing. Like I said, it's still the early days of our journey, but I do start to hear that more and more from our partners.
YouTube is printing money for Google, as I understand it, upwards of $15 billion a year. Where will the future revenue growth come from? Talk to us about that strategy and how it will play in.
If you think about YouTube today compared to what YouTube was 5 years ago or certainly 10 years ago, there are an order of magnitude more creators on our platform. We have a breadth of monetization offerings to support this creator economy, not just ads, but subscription business. That was the $15 billion subscription business across all of Google, but also direct to fan funding, like channel memberships and things like that. So there's an enormous amount of scale and complexity in the ecosystem that requires us to rethink how we're going to support that creator ecosystem.
In this video, revealing a step-by-step tutorial on how to start a YouTube channel and how complete beginners are making $100 to $700 a day.
How much money I make? I make around $30,000 per month.
I quit my job in the middle of a pandemic to do YouTube full-time.
But the goal is the same, which is to make our creators successful on our platform in 2 dimensions, in terms of building an audience, but also being able to earn a sustainable living from our platform.
Google's ad business is a monster, thanks in part to you. I mean, you obviously came in and DoubleClick in the early days, and your roots are in the ad business. But also, it's stirred controversy about privacy and tracking. What are some of the lessons that you've taken from that you're applying to YouTube?
what we are building for all of us as users of the platform, because ultimately it is that connection between fans and viewers and creators that is what's ultimately attractive to advertisers. So if you're not focused on that connection between creators and fans, everything that you're doing from an advertiser standpoint is sort of moot. So that's the first thing. The second is that monetization, building advertising products, and therefore being able to monetize all this amazing content on YouTube is a long-term game. We're going through that journey, for example, right now in terms of Shorts monetization and actually making Shorts a platform that is not just a great place to build an audience, but to also build a business.
So you've been at Google for 15 years. You joined when YouTube was best known for cat videos, and now you're carrying the Super Bowl. Like, did you ever imagine YouTube would be carrying the Super Bowl?
I've always felt that YouTube is a great place for fans. I happen to be a huge sports fan myself. And so really since almost the very early days of YouTube, it's been a place where I personally was consuming highlights and more in-depth interviews and things like that. We just concluded season 1 of NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. And it really brought together, I think, kind of 2 or 3 really key things that are unique to YouTube about that live sports experience, like ease of use, great features, so product innovation, and most importantly, I would say actually bringing together creators and that live sports content all in one place, especially for young people. All right, and here's our living room lab.
Awesome. The living room at the office.
Indeed, yes.
So do you just sneak in here and check the sports
I do.
scores?
Yes.
The multi-view probably helps you.
Yeah, it is a very popular feature in our household, not just for football, but really every sport.
So you've talked about how the living room is the next frontier for YouTube. What do you mean by that?
Our top creators have grown their watch time on living room screens by something on the order of 400% in the last year, a couple years or so. And so we're seeing enormous growth, and it really comes down to the fact that people come home, they sit down on their couch, and they turn on YouTube, and they want to consume all the content that they know and love on it. Everything from, could be like a 15-hour live stream to a 15-minute, favorite video from one of their favorite creators to Shorts.
So in my house, for my kids, YouTube is their first screen.
Yeah.
It almost does feel, though, like you're trying to be the first and the second screen. Can you win at both?
Of course, the context is different. The way that you control it is different, but the use cases that they're looking for are the same. So it could be watching your favorite creator, like we have Michelle Carre here. She likes to do these sort of very in-depth, quite highly produced documentary-style videos. By the way, she shot this in 4K. So lots of creators obviously know that they have lots of their watch time or increasing part of their watch time on screens like the living room. And so they want it to look beautiful on these big screens as well. So the 4K obviously comes through very clearly.
Oh my goodness. Oh, she's practicing for the thing.
She literally trained for 6 weeks to do this.
Oh my gosh. And she was in there for how long?
I think a few, as long as it took her to get out, but minutes. Like
I can't even watch.
Yeah.
YouTube has paid out $70 billion to creators over the last 3 years. That's even more than Netflix is spending on content. Break that number down for us, and is it paying off?
Just to give you a little bit more sort of sense of the scale of it, we have 3 million creators in our YPP program, so that is lots of millions of creators literally earning a living on our platform. Most of that is generated through advertising. Advertising is our primary business, but increasingly our SVOD business, our subscriptions business, of which there's 2 flavors, has grown to be a very meaningful part of our business as well. And so that's YouTube Music and Premium is in that number as well, but we also obviously have a YouTube TV subscription business. And then the third bucket that also gives creators choice in terms of how they earn a living on our platform is something that we call fan funding. And that is the ability to earn revenue directly from your fans. And so it's really all 3 of those buckets, AVOD, SVOD, and fan funding, direct to consumer, that generate revenue for our creators.
And it's paying off, or time will tell?
I mean, our business is successful when our creators' business is successful. And so we are really pleased with the size of the creator economy, but I remind our teams every day that we're still in the very early journey of what this could grow and become.
Now, YouTube's algorithm can make or break a creator's future. Take us inside the black box just a little. How does it work and why does it change all the time?
Well, the simplest way to think about the recommendations that you see in your feed, whether it's the home feed or on the watch page, is it is really a reflection of your interests as a viewer. And so when it's changing in the sense of reflecting back your interests or your personalized history of what you are watching on our platform. And that is the simplest way that I can really describe.
So it's our fault the algorithm keeps changing.
Well, because our interests as viewers continues to change. Now, obviously, we are also trying to continue to improve that experience for our viewers and help creators get discovered. And so we're not sitting still there. There's an enormous amount of innovation. AI is such a buzzword in our industry today, but one of the areas where we've been investing very heavily in AI for, around a decade is actually in those recommendations that you see when you open up the YouTube app.
A bunch of powerful YouTubers announced recently they were quitting the platform.
I can't keep this up. This is my dream job, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I know I'm incredibly lucky, but a dream job is still a job.
Some of them say they're burned out. Some of them say, they can't deal with the algorithm and all the changes.
I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade.
What do you have to say to some of those people? I think there's this feeling that you're pushing out some of the more homespun creators for more flashy content.
First of all, everybody's decision in terms of what they choose to do really is a personal one. I know lots of creators who've chosen to either take a break or perhaps move to different sorts of pursuits. Some of them have moved from in front of the camera to behind the camera. Some of them have moved to grow different types of businesses out of their YouTube experience. And I think all of that is actually a natural evolution, but actually also really great because it's a decision that they were able to make based on their success on our platform.
Broadly, Shorts does seem to be YouTube's answer to TikTok. Is it working, or are you cannibalizing the OG?
YouTube has to be a place for creators where they can do a 15-second short or a 15-hour live stream. And we have all of those creators on our platform. And so our investment in Shorts is something that I'm very excited about. We have, 70 billion views a day on the platform. The number of creators uploading Shorts has grown 50% year on year. We are in a monetization journey where every single month for the last year since launching our monetization program on Shorts, creators' earnings have grown every single month. So lots and lots of success around Shorts, but it's still very, very early days.
So you've done a few of these shorts.
Yeah, I have.
What's the secret to a good short?
Well, the biggest thing that really comes across in all of our videos, whether they're shorts or not, is just be yourself. I'm Chris, and I'm gonna be your videographer.
Why are you still talking?
You need to have a hook. So the slide, of course, is definitely something that I think will draw attention. So, just make it all the way down.
Hi, everyone. I'm at YouTube headquarters, and I'm going to shoot my first short with the man in charge.
Hey, everyone. I'm Neal.
And we're going to go down this giant slide together.
Yeah, I really love this slide.
All right, ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh. Okay. 1, 2,
I think I got a call.
3. No!
Hello?
You chickened out.
All right, what do we do next?
Well, you got one last thing, which is you should shoot an outro.
Okay, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
You got it. Perfect.
You're gonna make this go viral, right? So many kids these days want to be creators, but you and I both know it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
And is it worrying at all that everyone wants to be a YouTube creator?
So first of all, speaking as someone who doesn't have any creative talent, it is hard. It is amazing what these creators do and how they can connect with their fans. I think that it's like any other sort of creative decision that a young person can make.
The MrBeast effect.
We just landed in Antarctica and we're gonna survive the next 50 hours here.
It seems like everyone's trying to copy him now. Do you worry at all about the homogenization of YouTube?
There are lots of creators, obviously, that try to learn from his success, but there are 500 hours of content uploaded to our platform every single day. Every niche interest, every learning pursuit that you want to have, every musical genre. So in terms of being able to find, the particular niche that you're interested in that moment that you're interested in, I'm never worried about it being, homogenous across all of YouTube.
Screen time is the #1 thing parents seem to be dealing with right now. And studies are showing that screen time is linked to mental health issues in kids as young as 3. Like, we're talking about anxiety, depression. As a dad, how do you grapple with these issues?
It's something that, as I'm sure in your home, in our home, my wife and I talk about this on a regular basis. We have, kids across a broad range. And I think the couple things I would say, first of all, obviously every household has to make their own decisions about these things. The second, I do think that at least in our household, we make different decisions depending on kind of the age and development of all 3 of our kids.
It's not just screen time that has captured the public's attention. The frenzy around AI and ChatGPT has put a spotlight on big tech firms scouring the internet for data to build the most advanced generative AI models. Google made one of the earliest breakthroughs way back in 2012 after it trained an artificial brain to spot pictures of cats using millions of YouTube videos. Microsoft-backed OpenAI recently unveiled Sora, its text-to-video generator, which uses written prompts to make high-def videos. OpenAI has yet to confirm just how it trained its own AI systems, but reports have alleged YouTube videos were used to train its models, violating the company's terms of use. OpenAI didn't respond to a request for comment on the allegations.
What was your reaction when you saw OpenAI's Sora demo?
The technology, what's really amazing about this, and our teams talk about this in our product reviews on a regular basis, is that there are new developments that are happening almost on a weekly, monthly sort of basis. And when I think about, again, just from a YouTube perspective, the way that you should expect AI to manifest itself in the product is through creator tools. And as a creator, honestly, whether they're powered by AI or not is sort of besides the point. They should allow you to do things that otherwise you could only imagine in the past, or something that might have taken you 9 weeks to do, maybe you can do in like 9 minutes or 9 seconds.
OpenAI's CTO, Mira Murati, was asked what data was used to train Sora, and she didn't give a clear answer.
What data was used to train Sora?
We used publicly available data and licensed data.
So, videos on YouTube?
I'm actually not sure about that.
Do you believe that YouTube was used to train Sora?
Well, I don't know. I think first you would have to, I guess they were asked, but you'd have to ask them. I have seen reports that it may or may not have been used. I have no information myself, and so I'd encourage you to ask them directly.
If it was being used, would that be against your policy?
It would be. We have a clear terms of service that when again, from a creator's perspective, when a creator uploads their hard work to our platform, they have certain expectations. One of those expectations is that the terms of service is going to be abided by. And our terms of service does allow for YouTube content, some YouTube content like the title of a video or the channel name or the creator's name to be scraped, because that's how you enable the open web for that content to show up and maybe show up in other search engines or what have you and be available that way. But it does not allow for things like transcripts or video bits to be downloaded. And that is a clear violation of our TOS. And so those are the rules of the road in terms of content on our platform.
And how does it work internally? Like, is Google using YouTube to train Gemini?
Google uses YouTube content really in accordance, again, back with those terms of service or individual contracts that we might have with creators or uploaders to our platform. Lots of creators have different sort of licensing contracts in terms of their content on our platform. Lots of rights holders do. And so some portion of that YouTube corpus might be, or maybe being used for those models, but it's going to be in concert with whatever the terms of service or the contract that that creator has signed before uploading their content to YouTube.
When I first saw Sora, I was definitely taken aback. Like, misinformation is already rampant. Are we staring down the barrel of a future where we won't know what's real and what's fake? Like, is this the end of truth as we know it?
You know, it's certainly a very, very deep question. It's a question that I do get from stakeholders periodically. I would say that we have to have two key aspects of our approach here. First is this technology is here. We can't hide from this technology. And I am just, all of my experience in terms of these types of big paradigm shifts, whether it was, you know, the birth of the internet or, you know, the shift from desktop to mobile, is that it's going to lead to many, many amazing opportunities. Having said that, this is also technology that, if it's in the hands of bad actors, will reduce the cost of producing, in your example, deep fakes or misinformation to zero or very close to zero. So we have to be cognizant of that. AI is going to play a really big role in actually detecting that type of content, but also all the amazing trained professionals we have all over the world that are reviewing this content. So all of those things have to come in together, especially with, you know, elections coming up, you know, all over the world.
It's a record election year. More than half the world is voting. How is Google going to ensure fair information and free elections, especially in the age of AI?
This is our top priority. I think it's going to come back to a few things here. First, we have a new policy in place that is requiring labeling of this sort of content. We won't just stop there. We have, when people are looking for election-related information on our platform, we raise up content that comes from channels that have a history of authority. And again, authority not determined by me, but by, you know, third-party raters all over the world that evaluate content from these channels. We have an intelligence desk that is looking for coordinated deceptive practices, state actor deceptive practices that might be using some of this technology. YouTube is an open platform where a lot of that electoral process plays out, but also one where we're doing our best to make sure that this type of technology doesn't allow for misinformation to get distributed.
I hear that you're the kind of leader that, you know, you keep cool in a crisis. Like, what does it take to do that? Especially at a company like YouTube where, you know, there's a lot going on the platform every day.
You know, my wife jokes that my nickname is Even Keel Neal, and that's just kind of how I've always been. So, and I just, you know, I think from my standpoint, it's about keeping perspective, the bigger picture in mind. And so being grounded in a set of core principles about what truly is important for the business, what's right for our users, allows me to stay calm and actually help the teams make those types of decisions.
So where does Even Keel Neal want YouTube to be in 5 years?
I want to be a place where we are the best place to create, to share, to watch a video that you can think of, regardless of where you are in the world or what device you're on. That's my vision. That's the vision for YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.